Hi, so welcome back. I'm Mike Noon. I'm the author of the book Speed Learning Secrets of NLP, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of language when you're learning. And as I said in one of my earlier videos, I don't mean Russian, French, Chinese, Urdu or Hindustani. What I mean is the different types of languages that your brain understands, and there's only 6 of them. The first one is visual, which is the things you see. The second one is auditory, which is what you hear, and also what you say to yourself inside of your own head. You know those little conversations you have? And the next one is kinesthetic, which is basically body sensations, how you feel things and experience things in your body. Then there is gustatory, which is about your sense of taste, and that's not as useful for learning unless perhaps you're learning how to cook, in which case it becomes extremely important. Olfactory, which is your sense of smell, and there's another one in NLP which we call auditory digital, which is basically how you do communicate with yourself in your head. So these are the only 6 languages that your brain understands. You can sometimes find if you're in a learning situation and you really can't get what the teacher is on about, it may be that they're talking to you in a completely different language to the one that you prefer to receive your information in. As I said in an earlier video, I'm very visual, so I like to see things. And one thing I'd like to point out for you is whereas before my notes were quite linear, now that I'm in teaching mode, I'm moving more towards a mind mapping way of presenting stuff. And here's why. Because I can show you how things relate to one another. I can show you how rapport is basically just a sense of trust and understanding. And that language has got an input phase, that's when you are getting the input, the information is going into your mind, into your brain. And there's an output phase, which is when you are communicating back. So language has got a lot of different facets, and we use it to communicate in a lot of different ways. We have a lot of ways of experiencing that communication. We can experience it visually, auditorily and kinesthetically, which are incidentally probably the 3 most common or most popular forms of communication. And all of these things, when they're done properly, lead to a sense of rapport, a sense of trust and understanding. And so when you're learning things, if you have rapport with the other person, you're far more likely to be able to understand and quickly assimilate what they're saying to you. And you may have noticed instances when you were in rapport with someone. Perhaps you were having coffee with a very close friend, or having a meal with somebody you really felt quite close to. And you would probably not notice the fact that maybe 3 or 4 hours just flew past. And that's because you were in a state of rapport. And I would encourage you to, when you're out and about, perhaps in a public park or in restaurants or cafes, just notice who's in rapport. And I'll be teaching you more about rapport in future videos, because this is really important. It's probably one of the most important things in learning. And when I'm teaching a live NLP training, most of my focus is about my state, which I talked about in the last video, and it's also about creating rapport, trust, understanding. And rapport is a 2-way thing, and it's very easy to put all the responsibility on the other person for creating rapport. But there are things that you can do that will enhance that rapport, and it will actually put the person who is teaching you more at ease, which means that their ability to communicate with you, to be able to relate to you and to be able to convey the information you want to learn will become easier for them. And you get this wonderful virtuous cycle, and it's like magic, really something quite special. The other thing that's important in language is values. And values are what you use to determine your actions. It's kind of like your conscience, but it's more complex than that. They're also what you use to assess actions that you have carried out in the day. So it might be that you've got a very strong value for completing stuff when you say you're going to have it done by. And so you would go, perhaps you're going to read a book and you think, okay, that book's going to take me 4 hours to read. But then something happens and you don't get the opportunity to do that. And you would then have a kind of little values conflict with yourself. I'll be talking to you more about the different forms of conflict in language and relationships, because all of this stuff is all important. And you may be wondering when I'm going to get to the speed learning bit. What I'm doing is I'm laying a really solid foundation for you, because my background is in construction management, and I used to build hypermarkets and shopping malls and office blocks, and I also used to build garden sheds and houses. But the important thing in all of those things was that it was properly planned out and that it had a good solid foundation to support it. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We're building the foundation for you, for your learning. So, until the next video, this is Mike Noon, signing off.